What is up, everyone? How are you doing? My name is Chris and Fanzon. This is the Hidden Doors podcast you're listening to. And today we're going over the superfoods that prevent cancer. We are in a society where we eat like garbage. And there are foods out there that help us be healthier, but also help us in the long term reduce the risk of getting illnesses like cancer. A lot of the information I'm pulling here is from a book called Anti-Cancer: A New Way of Life by David Cervan Schreiber. I think I'm saying that right. And he was a French physician, neuroscientist, and he's an author. He was a clinical professor of psychiatry at the University of Pittsburgh School of Medicine. He's also a lecturer in the Faculty of Medicine of University Claude Bernard Lyon. So he also was someone who had a brain tumor, and it was because of this that made him go down this path uh, to want to write this book. And this book is taking in a lot of studies, so it's not just his experience, but it's him putting together a lot of studies that go to show how you can live a new way of life by a new lifestyle and a new diet. And for this podcast, I'm going to be focusing on diet changes, superfoods that we can eat so we can be healthier in the future. And at the very end of this podcast, we're going to be trying something new. At the very end, I'm going to add a word of the day. So it's going to be a word of the day at the very end of this podcast. So stay tuned because you don't want to miss that. So, before we get into superfoods, let's just take a step back at the whole bigger picture here. There has never been to date a study on human beings that show what are the benefits when it comes to preventing cancer or fighting cancer when it comes to all elements of your diet. But it's been done on mice. There have been studies done on mice, but just not humans. And uh, you know, probably a couple reasons why that happens. One is scientists like to have one small variable when they're testing something, and when you take into account someone's entire diet, um, it's not really one variable. One variable would be like you start eating broccoli and this person doesn't eat broccoli, and then that's one difference. But when I say your whole diet, I'm saying 5 to 10 different things that you can eat. There's no human study that's been on this, but there's been a very promising study that's been done on mice. And statistics show that simply by consuming a combination of ingredients found in common healthy foods, mice went from 100% risk of developing cancer to a 90% chance of escaping it. 90% chance. It is a big difference. So they did a few different types of combinations. So mice that had only one component of a healthy food had a 50% chance of developing a tumor. Among those mice that had two substances at the same time, only a third developed cancer. Of three, so if mice had three components that were combined, the proportion of sick mice went down from 1 in 5. And then only 1 in 10 mice developed a tumor among those that consumed all four substances. And I'm saying all four substances of healthy food. For example, in the study, there was what was there given? Selenium, which is found primarily in organically grown cereals and vegetables, as well as fish and shellfish. Magnesium, found in spinach, nuts, hazelnuts, almonds, whole grain cereals. Vitamin C, found in fruits, vegetables, uh, green vegetables, cabbage, strawberries. Vitamin A, found in bright colored fruits, vegetables, as well as eggs. So basically, what that study is showing is Mice that had more of that different variation, as long as if they had 4 of those combinations, they had a 90% chance of preventing cancer, preventing a tumor from growing. And that is the basis of this podcast, is that when you make your diet when you make your diet packed with superfoods that are healthy for you, that all have shown in some study, whether it's human beings with uh, maybe not a control and exposed study, but some kind of analysis, a meta analysis, or a study on mice, they all show that they're healthy for you and they help prevent cancer. Then if you pack your diet with that, you are in a much better situation to prevent cancer. And you can't say 100% certain because who knows, but the linkage is that you have a 90% chance of preventing cancer. So, this is what this podcast is all about. What can we do with our diet um, to make us in a better position to be healthier down the road and avoid long term illnesses like cancer? So, what are those 5 things? I'll go through 5 things here, and then I would encourage everyone to go get their own copy of the Anti-Cancer: A New Way of Life by David Cervan, because there's a lot of good information in there, and I am boiling down the very important things, but I think everyone should go get a copy. Whether or not you already eat healthy, it's good to know this type of information. So first is green tea. The first superfood is green tea, and the important thing here is that when you have green tea, you should make it steep. So when you put the little bag, the tea bag in, and you put it in the hot water, boiling water, you let it steep for 10 minutes, because that is when you extract this thing called catechins. I think I'm saying that wrong. Catechins, Catechins. Um, you need those are the things that are so good within green tea. And don't drink the green tea after an hour, because then it's too long. So green tea after 10 minutes of steeping, no longer than an hour. Um, and studies have shown studies have shown in a group of Japanese women suffering from breast tumors that had not yet metastasized, researchers discovered that those who consumed 3 cups of green tea a day had a 50% fewer relapses than those who only drank 1 cup a day. In men with prostate tumors, daily consumption of 5 cups of green tea reduced risk that their cancer would progress to an advanced stage by 50%. So you can the recommendation is to drink 3 cups a day, 3 cups of green tea a day at the very least. Have 2. So green tea is a really good thing to have. Um, so mix and match vegetables. Make vegetables a very good part of your diet, a very large part of your diet. And broccoli is an effective anti-cancer food. It's even more effective when you combine tomato sauce, onions, or garlic. So get in the habit of adding onions and garlic or leeks to your dishes as you cook. Throw in some freaking broccoli. People use the recommendation is have broccoli 3 times a week. Eat more vegetables and include broccoli with onions and garlic in your diet. Third is have a low glycemic index. So there is really good reason to believe that the sugar boom, the sugar boom has contributed a large part to our cancer epidemic, and a lot of it is linked to the explosion of insulin in our bodies. So there has been a study with mice who have been inoculated with breast cancer cells and have been used to compare the effect on tumor growth of different foods. So I'm reading from this right now. Of varying glycemic indices. After 2.5 months, 2/3 of 24 mice whose blood sugar peaked frequently were dead, compared to only 1/3 of the 20 that had been on a low glycemic index. For obvious reasons, it would be impossible to carry such an experiment out in humans, but a study comparing Asian with Western populations suggest the same thing. Those who eat low sugar Asian diets tend to have 5 to 10 times fewer hormonally driven cancers than those with diets high in sugar and refined foods as is typical in most industrial nations. So high high diets and sugar causing your insulin to spike has been linked to higher causes or causes more higher chance of getting cancer. And so what do you do? So first, avoid refined white flour that's used in bagels, muffins, sandwiches, breads, buns, and whenever possible, eat multigrain bread. Two, stop eating cookies and brownies and Cheez-Its and potato chips. Anything that is processed is garbage. Most likely anything that's in a package is garbage. You should eat whole foods. Whole foods, like things that you can see being grown. So replace all of the brownies, potato chips, snacks that you would eat, Doritos, with things like unsalted almonds, nuts, and cashews. Those things are healthy for you, and your insulin's not going to spike out of control. Three is if you're going to get any sugar, I'm still within the low glycemic index. If you're going to eat any sugar, then don't. If you're getting a sugar craving, don't eat that crap. But also, don't go for sweetened drinks either. Those are not good for you. You should just be drinking water, green tea, and like keep it to natural things like that. But if you're gonna have a sugar craving, go for fruit. Fruit has It's your sugar craving. That's what we used to eat back in the day before we had people making us some crazy concoction in a bottle that we honestly don't even know where it came from. We had fruit when you had sugar cravings. And fruit has fiber, fruit has vitamins in it. Fruit is good for you. When you have a sugar craving, eat fruit. When I have a sugar craving, I have a shake that I make. The shake is It has banana, it has blueberries, raspberries, blackberries, rice milk, and almond butter. And it is delicious. And it gets my sugar craving out of the way, and it's way healthier than a soda and a Snickers bar. Eliminate that stuff. Okay, the fourth part of superfoods is turmeric. Turmeric. I splash turmeric on everything that I cook. So turmeric is a spice that has a powerful anti-inflammatory effect. And so I'm going to take a couple excerpts here and read. The principal molecule responsible for that effect is curcumin. In the laboratory, curcumin inhibits growth in a large number of cancers: colon, prostate, lung, liver, stomach, breast, ovarian, brain, and leukemia. For example, it also inhibits angiogenesis and forces cancer cells to die through the process of cell suicide known as apoptosis. I can't pronounce that word. In mice, curcumin prevents the development of several types of tumors caused by chemical carcinogens. Additionally, curcumin inhibits the growth of human tumors when implanted in mice. Perhaps then it's not surprising that Indians have 1/8 as many lung cancers as Westerners of the same age, 1/9 as many colon cancers, 1/5 as many breast cancers, 1/10 as many kidney cancers, 1/5 of our rate of prostate cancer. So curcumin. Get a lot of curcumin, and you get that through turmeric. But the thing is, turmeric is better absorbed when you have it through pepper. When you splash pepper uh, on it. So when I'm ever seasoning something, my food, and I put turmeric on it, I also put pepper on it. When you do it with pepper, um, it has a 2,000% increase of body absorption. So throw pepper and turmeric. I splash turmeric on everything that I eat. It's actually pretty good too. I love turmeric. It's a really good spice, and I splash it on everything. Okay, the fifth thing here is balanced omegas. So your omega 3s and omega 6s, they need to be balanced, and a lot of the things that we're doing in this Western diet makes them imbalanced. So things like processed vegetable oils and and dairy and beef. If they're not, most likely, if depending on how you're eating them, they're not a balanced ratio. There's supposed to be a 1-to-1 ratio of omega 3s and omega 6s that that you're eating. But when you're eating things like meat and dairy from animals that eat mainly corn and soy, your imbalance in your body is as much as 115 to 140. That is a crazy imbalance, and you're supposed to be at 1-to-1. So, what you should start doing is only eat grass-fed grass-fed beef and dairy. So you buy milk, you buy eggs, you buy meat, make sure it's grass-fed, because the animals that are eating natural grass, they're going to have a balanced 1-to-1 omega count, 3 to 6. Those are eating corn and soy are going to have a very different balance, and that is a cause for concern, because the imbalance between omega 3s and 6s in our diets increase inflammation, coagulation, and the growth of adipose and cancer cells. I don't even know what the hell adipose is, but let's just say it's not good. Also, processed oils have high omega 6s, a high imbalance of omega 6s, and so they have been shown to link specifically to cancer. A new study of almost 25,000 European women by the French National Institute of Health and Medical Research confirmed that the risk of breast cancer almost doubles in women who have high levels of trans fat in their blood. Trans fat vegetable oils are found in like processed food, Cheetos, Doritos, all that stuff. That's why cut it out. Cut that stuff out completely and have an unsalted almond. At first, it will suck because you want that taste, that craving, but eventually you'll start to enjoy yourself and you'll like the taste of it. Almonds are actually pretty good. Almonds and cashews are not bad. So, what are good oils? Olive oil and canola oil in cooking and salad dressings. So go to your kitchen, anything that you see that's soybean, corn, or sunflower oils, throw those out and don't give them to your neighbors. Just throw them out because they're not good for you. Those are That is the summary of superfoods that you could be focusing on. I will repeat them. Green tea 3 times a week. 3 times a day. Green tea. Mix and match vegetables, but especially focus on broccoli, and that works really good when you have onions and garlic with your broccoli. So don't skimp on the onions and broccoli. That's 2. 3 is a low glycemic index. Stop spiking your insulin with high foods and sugar like white bread and candies and processed food and cookies and all that stuff. Get natural fruit for your sweet. Have unsalted almonds and nuts and cashews, and have multigrain bread that won't spike your insulin and you'll have a low glycemic index. Turmeric. Splash that seasoning on everything. Turmeric is a great inflammatory, and it's worked well in India. They're doing better than us because of the curcumin in it. And have balanced omega 3s and 6s. But you do that by having grass fed beef and dairy. You do that by throwing out all the oils like sunflower oil, soybean oil, corn oil, and you only use olive oil and canola oil. Um, and don't eat any processed foods because they have a lot of trans fat, and trans fat has been shown to have way higher risks of developing cancer. Do those 5 things, and you will be healthier and you will avoid illnesses in the future. It might not even just be cancer, you might avoid other illnesses too. Eat healthier. You also get a copy of the book because I highly recommend everyone reading it. It's a good book just to know how the effects of what you eat may impact you later down the road. And why would you not listen to a study that says mice have a 90% chance of preventing this when they eat 4 variations of these good healthy stuff? That's a crazy statistic that I think we should all take into account and be healthier. This book also goes on to other things, not just diet. So it's a good thing to read. It goes on to exercise and chemicals to stay away from in your household. I will maybe save that podcast for another day, but I think that is a good book to read and get informed about what is going on in this society and why cancer rates are so high. And as I promised, we're doing a word of the day. So, word of the day. Uh, Hang on for 1 second. The word of the day is ergo. 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 I don't know if you can hear that. Ergo. So the definition is therefore. So in a sentence, she was the sole beneficiary of the will, ergo the prime suspect. Who knows if you like it? Similar synonyms are consequently, as a consequence, hence, therefore, as a result. Ergo. Go use it. Go use it today in your vocabulary. See if you like it. I appreciate you all listening, and I will see you next time. If you liked what you hear, give me a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel so you can stay up to date on more videos like this. Hit the notification bell. I appreciate you listening. Use your word of the day. Try the word of the day. Tell me how you like it. If you don't like it, or if you do like it, tell me the sentence that you used it in. I'd like to hear the story. And appreciate you listening, and have a good rest of your day. Thank you.